this is time to talk about a topic that often I get asked about, especially when clients come and want to have a tarot reading with me, or when people hear that I am a professional tarot card reader. And also, it's a topic that I definitely share with my students in my tarot teachings, my tarot school, where I always teach about self-growth and tarot being a tool for it. So, do you want to understand why we have this idea in the whole society? You probably know already. So, a long time ago, of course, tarot cards were maybe seen more as a game, as a card game. And from that time, people definitely can't believe that they can predict anything. But the same time-ish, also people who started to use it as a tool for divination did predict future. That's why it's called divination, meaning you are trying to predict something that might happen in the future. But when it comes to the idea, if tarot cards really, the physical cards, could predict future or not, I think we have to understand one very important basis thing. So you live here, I live here, and we both see whatever this is differently. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever you believe in is going to make it real. For example, if you believe that yes, tarot cards will predict future, then probably if you even pull some tarot cards out, you're going to make sure, your mind is going to make sure that it's true, that it becomes true. So in that sense, they probably did predict it, but you probably helped to do it. The other part is, of course, to think, tarot cards don't predict future. They're just physical cards. Well, how could they do that? Right? No way. I don't believe in those things. So then probably if you go to a tarot card reader, you might be quite skeptical. You might see it as a test. Let's see if it's true or not. And probably your mind then is going to try to find every reason why the reading was not predicting future. Maybe the reader will actually not do it, and then you still might like the experience and everything, but you might still believe it's so. Why all of that happens? Because our brain is wired to make sure that whatever we actually think ourselves, what we think is a true statement, fulfills. For example, if you believe that cats are blue, I don't know, you're gonna find reasons why cats are blue. You're gonna really just find any sort of information how actually we see colors, how differently they might be portrayed, and this and that. I don't know if your mind will start to paint them blue, but maybe that's an option too. Who knows? But that's the beauty of and actually strength of our mind, to find clues and truth in whatever it believes in. For example, if you believe that waking up in the mornings is hard, oh my dear Lord, your mind is going to help you prove with every possibility that it is hard. Even on the days when it's easy, for example, your day off, on a vacation, 7 days in a row, and you're like, oh no, it's so hard because I overslept. Oh, now you have a reason, right? Perfect. So that's the part of what our mind does. Shall I tell you if I believe if tarot cards predict future or not? I will anyway. So in my opinion and in my belief system, I feel like everything that can be future is kind of here, in the now, in the present. So, for example, if you are wishing to have a beautiful home, but all you do in the present moment is just find every bit of thing how your house is annoying, you're probably not gonna get closer to getting to your to the dream house that you want, because you're not appreciating what you have, and you don't really feel good when it comes to the topic of home in your head. But for example, if you decided to change it up, maybe you go to a friend's house, and in that house you feel good, and now you think about the same topic of house, of home differently. Maybe there are more opportunities in your reality. So in this present moment, we can quite easily tell how our next day or next days, or even maybe months, weeks, who knows, maybe even years might go by, because the beliefs that we have in this moment will probably help to create it. And if I look backwards to the past, that's the reason why you are like you are right now. So, for example, if you are whining about the house, but you really are ready to do everything so that you get to a point where you can appreciate and actually have an amazing house, you probably will start to do some sort of things to change your belief. For example, you might realize that the belief that your house is shit is maybe not fully true. And you will start to try to find some tiny good things about it. For example, you have a house. That's not everyone has it. The second thing, maybe you are able to have it quite clean. Maybe it's easy to clean. Maybe that's a good aspect, right? Maybe it's not the ideally looking one. Maybe it's smaller than you want and this and that, but maybe it's easy to take care of. So already you're getting some different aspects than maybe somebody else taught you to just feel shitty at home. And that's why you're continuing this cycle. And then through knowingly trying to work it out and change these beliefs, you might get to a point where you're like, oh my God, I have a revelation. I have been taught to think bad about being at home because that's the place where my family fought. So I thought, being at home means to be in the space of fighting, and I don't like that energy, so I don't like home. And then if you take that old idea and you change it up in the present moment, you can actually create a different future than it probably would have been without it. So that's how I view this reality. That's how I view tarot cards being able to be in this moment, telling you some beautiful suggestions, some possibly simple realities, and going from there, they could technically give you some great tips to get to where you want to. I'm not saying that they predict the future. I'm rather saying that you are able to take what you want, the tarot cards give to you that you would want to have more. So you work on it and you'll get there. But maybe there are some other things that tarot cards might be, how to say, warning you about. Maybe they're giving some good tips what to do in the present moment to change it up. And those could be very helpful if you want to have a very different outcome. For example, somebody that really loves to shout in communication, but would actually love to have a peaceful relationship, that shouting is not going to help to have it. So you need to change the shouting element in you so you could get to that. And tarot cards probably will show some cards that speak about it. And then you can decide if you actually do it or not. So in the end, all the choice, when you go to a tarot card reading, somebody pulls some cards out for you, all the choice what to do with it is in your body, your mind, your choice. So it is not that something out of you predict how things are going to go. It's rather we either agree with it or we don't. And that can get us to a point faster or slower. It can, of course, fulfill, as I'm saying. So also looking at tarot cards and their knowledge, in many ways, it, for me, goes together with the archetype information. Like, for example, we are the fools who are walking on the tarot cards path. We are the ones who are learning through all these sort of lessons through life, all the mysteries that life offers, very physical, but also sometimes spiritual, also mind challenging, and all sorts of lessons that we go through, right? And if we're interested in having a good skill set that can help us to create our reality, we usually go to the next card, that is the High Priestess, after the Magician. And the High Priestess is actually the one that kind of encompasses everyone that does some sort of work like I do, like tarot readings, some, in my opinion, also coaching, any helping profession, hypnosis, any psychologist profession, any of that sort, where you know so much information and you're able to give exactly one sentence to that person that they might need at that moment. So this sort of a idea of the High Priestess actually is very, very helpful in changing and creating your reality. And then if we look a bit further into the tarot cards that speak about this topic, it also is showing up, in my opinion, a lot in the Wheel of Fortune, the 10th card in the major arcana. And in this card, we truly can be the Anubis that is just going around and going up and down, and the life is just throwing you in all sorts of ways. And sometimes you feel like a victim, sometimes you feel like a winner. But we can also choose to try to find a different spot on this wheel and actually be more in the middle, be the one who knows how to create the reality that you are living in, instead of being like, oh, some sort of outside destiny decides for me. I don't prescribe to those sorts of ideas, and that's why I feel like I'm more in the middle in the Wheel of Fortune. And I understand that although maybe I came in a specific family and specific situation, I also chose to go out of it. I chose to evolve. I chose to grow. I chose to change. And over time, it has given me a chance to also teach it to you and others to be able to also get to a different level. And I can happily say that I have completely different level of relationship than my family history has shown me to have. And you can heal all sorts of things that were kind of destined for you and like written in the basis. But if you make some choices along the way to heal and go deep, you can actually find a way how to create what you want and bring that into reality by becoming it. So that's also what I believe in, that we get to become what we want to have. And then we kind of live in the real life manifestation of this reality. So, what a better way to predict our own future than basically by deciding that we can do it and we can get there. And that's why I love tarot cards, because, in my opinion, they give great suggestions to get there. They show in which parts my mind is ready and which parts my mind is not ready. So I can actually work on it and help myself to get to those levels that I want to reach. I'm curious if you believe that tarot cards are a future predicting tool, or maybe you find them more like I do as a self-growth tool, or maybe you have your own version. Let me know in the comments or some personal messages. You can find me in most of places online by just writing tarot and mysteries, sometimes with a dot, sometimes without. And I will very happily continue to engage on these tarot and spirituality related topics, as I find them very much so linked together. Okay, bye, and until the next time.